Asas. What happens when you take two vibrant brothers that are descendants from the Greeks in Constantinople, embracing their American roots, and then ask them to serve up rich tales of traditions, cuisine, childhood memories, and a hearty dose of humor? You're about to find out. This is Baklava Banter, your passport to all things Greek.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Baklava Banter. I am Petraki, and we are here today with actor, director, and screenwriter. He is a New York native. Help us welcome George Zouvelos to the show. Welcome, George. How are you?
Nice to see you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. So we are a week away from the premiere of Once a Week for Life. This is a gritty crime drama. Take place in New York City, around the boroughs of New York City. So for the people who are just first hearing about this now, give us a rundown on how the premise of this movie came to be.
Yeah, Once a Week for Life is a crime thriller, sardonic humor drama
Mm-hmm.
that came to be when I wrote in ink when I was on ambulance reports and things when I worked for the city. I was a paramedic, which became a fire department, and in law enforcement, I always was a great observer of human nature.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind always danced because I come from a long, like do you and our viewers, tradition of oral storytellers, right? Where TV was a 13-inch TV on top of a big piece of furniture that had a bigger TV, but that TV hadn't worked since the time of Noah. It had a copper hanger as an antenna because that broke off.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to take turns getting up and switching the channels with the plier.
Mm-hmm.
13 channels, and sometimes we had UHF. That was a totally different wire that had a long tether. And my brother and I, when we were younger in the 70s, we'd have to go stand by the window so my father can see his Panathinaikos from Greece on one of the pirated stations on UHF. Well, ever since that time, I was in awe, because when someone speaks to you,
Mm-hmm.
like being a Boy Scout in Troop 23 in Astoria at St. Demetrius Greek Orthodox Cathedral, where I went to school on my early years from my to like around 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
You'd sit around a campfire or in a classroom, and the teacher would give you data, a story. The story would be compelling. So your mind starts to dance and putting images in your head to try to actualize what the scene is. And it makes your adrenaline rise or drop, or your heart swell, or your tears flow, or get you scared or excited. And as a filmmaker, and I'm going to get to your question, I do the opposite. I'm injecting images in your head from words that I wrote out of my mind with a black uniball
Mm-hmm.
on a piece of parchment, cotton paper, whatever. And that parchment is the actor. So the ink is the author. The words are from the writer. The acting is from an actor which I cast and gives me his or her take on the character that I wrote. As a director, you're not supposed to tell the actor how to act. You give the actor condition precedent. You give the actor a little background, the situation. You just lost your father, your wife left you. Now you hear this guy's busting your chops.
Mhm.
Go. But that's how each scene, that's how much background. If the actor wants to know more to get into that space, whether they're a method actor or not, the actors that I choose are very unique faces,
Mhm.
not necessarily recognizable, and also acting ability and style. So back to how it started, I remember, and I said this during the premiere, the red carpet premiere, I started writing with a black ink using the early version of the Uniball. It was had a gel handle. And it ran out. The first word I wrote was Eve. And when I started to write and, it ran out. So I reached into my backpack and pulled out the only other pen I had was a red pen, which was never used, ever. It was a virgin pen, it was full of ink. You can see it. It was a Bic. And the story behind why did I have a red pen is because, like I had stated at the premiere, I didn't get great grades, and I was what they say, immature and atactos. I was misbehaved in class, so my teachers used to send this in red, D, George is not paying attention, George is this and George is that. And then when I got home, the teachers knew there were consequences. Typically, besides just a beating, was no dinner, or standing in the corner all night. That was all facing the corner, which was a very interesting early meditation tool that I've used without falling asleep. And I wrote the words Adam, and then a modern day Ulysses tumbles through a merciless life while balancing on a razor's edge.
Mhm.
And I wrote 3 sentences, and that, my friend, is called a treatment.
Mhm.
And that crumpled it. Well, I folded it. And then, like I did with all these other little things, and I remember there's some stain on it, on the paper, and I remember smelling it. It was hamburger grease that I ate from a hamburger I ate 30 years ago. And while I was writing it, and I crumpled it and put it in, started putting stories even before that into a coffee can. I had a Folgers can, a Chuck full of nuts can. They had yellow lids, some had black lids. And I filled like 6 cans of treatments. And not all my stories are rated R. I write a lot of things about wholesome things that enrich people, not just crime dramas that are heavy real life situations regarding a world that none of us really live in.
Mhm.
A world that we live in, but we don't experience it firsthand. And during COVID, my wife says to me, Yorgo, besides tapiasma skulikia, besides catching worms, you got COVID living in those cans. I said, no. I said, it's impossible. I said, those things turned moldy and brown a long time before today. So anything in there is dead,
Mhm.
for sure. She goes to me, write something, make yourself useful. I'm going to throw them out. So I'm the head of the house, and very much my wife is the neck.
Mhm.
And happy wife is happy life. I found out that a long time ago. This is not my first rodeo.
Yeah.
And that's how I wrote it. It ended up being a 1,500-page manuscript,
Wow.
once a week for life.
Yeah. When you're writing it, you talk about how what the parchment that you're writing on is the actor. When you're writing it, do you have in your mind who you'd like to play the characters?
Yeah, most of the time. When I expanded the actor that played the protagonist, Captain Zeke Levy,
Mm-hmm.
there was only one person that came to mind, and it's
Mm-hmm.
somebody that I've seen on TV and later worked with,
Mm-hmm.
uh, who he directed, and I produced and assistant directed, Anthony Scorti, who's in Carlo Gambino in The Offer, in a one-man play called An Evening with Onassis that we had at the Actors Theater in Manhattan, which is the first off-Broadway theater off of Broadway. It's a historic theater. And Dick Gran, an Armenian man from England, has a face that can speak volumes without opening his mouth. His eyes can be cold, but they can be tender. And I cast Dick Gran, for example, based on his acting ability. And he confessed to me he's never been cast in a TV show or film as a protagonist. He always plays the evil guy. So it's a juxtaposition for him. It's the antithesis for him. When I was writing the mafia end of the film, so there's a romantic end of it. There's also a mafia element. From the very beginning, my father was John Capellos. John Capellos, by way of Toronto in Canada, lives in LA. His wife is Heidi, great person, great people. And he's been in The Breakfast Club. He's been Weird Science. He's been in The Shape of Water. He's been on TV. He's a heartthrob for many. He said to me, I start to get to know him. He sent me his phone number. I called him, and he was my dad. I said, listen, you're from Arcadia. I'm from Arcadia. Spare the rod and spoil the child. That was your attitude towards Adam Galanis, your son. And pretty much he is my father, Theo Galanis, a former NYPD transit patrolman. He patrolled the subways. And I started filling in characters, excuse me, as I described, as time went on, by actors saying, this guy would be good. I know you don't know him, but I know him. I can get him. And then each actor was a different negotiation. They wanted to see the script. Nobody got the full script. They got the scene. That's another thing that actors find interesting, that typically when somebody sends you a script, your scenes are in it and you know the whole story. George doesn't play that game. The way I do is you don't know what's going on with my film, because there's so many twists and turns that it's better that you don't know. It's going to affect your acting.
You know, coming to the premiere, and I saw it a few weeks ago. I saw it also back, when was it, in last summer or last fall, was I believe
July 12th, on the feast day of St. Paisios. We did it.
And you know, I remember I met some of the cast there, and I met him again a few weeks ago. You did a Q&A afterwards, and you had Armin Garrow on the stage, who was also in Goodfellas. And he made a comment that I thought was really interesting. He said what he enjoyed, and I'm paraphrasing here, what he enjoyed with working with you is he had a different perspective on how he wanted to do something, and you allowed him to do it, to see how it played out. When you hear that type of feedback from an actor like with his background, how does that make you feel? Does that kind of justify how you direct movies?
No, an actor will tell you that I'm an actor's director.
Okay.
Because I'm not a director high on the podium. I'm a director who's acted. On TV, even the smallest roles that I've received. And Armin Garrow was in The Departed and The Sopranos, and Vinyl, and other things. The confidence that the actor has and the freedom that I afford my actors to express themselves is a credit to how comfortable they feel with me. Because in a Hollywood production, they couldn't do that unless the director asked them. I don't always go only with what I want alone. I will, time permitting, take the suggestion of a senior actor and say, let's do that too, but let's do what I said first.
Sure.
Right. So the buck stops here, because at the end of the day, the actor gets up and walks away. And then 3 years later, they come to a premiere.
Yeah.
I have to live with the things that I've captured that I cannot afford to reshoot.
Yeah.
We have a conference room scene. There's 9 actors in it. 9 actors. We had a very small period of time to film them. There's John Bianco, Artie Pasquale, Tony Darrow, Paul Borghese, Jimmy Schertz, Stu Raplogle. I'm sure I missed somebody. And to get those people in one room at the same time, at the same shooting day, with 6 cameras, 6 running at the same time. The DP, George Takuma, says, forget it, you're out of your mind. But when somebody tells me forget it, I'm a Spartan. I'm also Arcadian. I'll find a way to get it done.
Yeah.
And we did 1 full take. This was a long scene. We ended up cutting it up and using pieces of it, and not all of it. But we cut up the very best parts of it. And we didn't want it to run on into oblivion, just enough to give you the flavor that there's 9 people in this room. We're going to discuss 4 or 5 of them. Maybe down the road we'll discuss the others, but for purposes of this, we're giving you where they stand. This guy's Nicky Narduccio, Don Cheesesteak from Philadelphia, you know.
Right.
Armin Garrow, he's known as Don Fishmonger, because he owns fish stores from Maine all the way down to Florida. So that scene is very Tarantino-esque, very Wes Anderson in the way I've set it up. Extreme close-ups like Spielberg. Has a Coppola twist, and it's clear and vivid. Right?
Yeah.
I couldn't listen to 9 actors' points of view. I'm like, do your thing, stick to the script. And if you want to add a little salt and pepper, even a little Parmesan cheese, go ahead. If I don't like it, I'll cut it in post.
Sure.
Times like that, things have to be script oriented.
Yeah.
To get what you want out of your actors. When you have 2 actors in one camera, 3 actors in one camera, you have much more flexibility.
Yeah.
And that can happen. And actors, you get an intimate relationship with them. They know me, that I'm not this pompous guy, but they also know that I draw the line and that's it.
Yeah.
Then we have disorder. You can't have mobocracy, no pun intended. It's not a democracy. It's very much, an authoritarian position, but I don't act it that way, and they don't feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah. When it came to when you were actually writing the screenplay, with regards to how you lined up shooting locations with the screenplay, while you were writing, did you already have locations in mind?
Sure. Some of them closed because of COVID.
Okay.
And it wouldn't be on. I'll call the guy. I'm coming over to film in your back of your store. Okay, you ought to go. Come on. Because the other guy's closed.
Okay. Because you did I think the visuals of the city, different aspects of the city, is also almost a secondary actor in this as well, because it kind of brings the whole screenplay together. Now, I've seen it, like I said, numerous times now. I'm gonna tell you, I enjoyed it the first time. I enjoyed it even more the second time I saw it.
Come out to Belmore on the 10th. I'll buy you a slice.
Okay.
You can enjoy it again.
And I'm just curious, how much of Adam Galanis is George Zouvelos? How much of him is there? I get the impression there's a small part of him, even though he's fictional, that is you.
Well, I wrote the character. I act like as Adam Galanis in experiences that I've had.
Yeah.
And what you just said is a big credit to me because that's what an actor is. You
Hmm.
didn't see me and none of the actors.
Hmm.
It looks like they're not acting, like they're
Hmm.
being themselves.
Hmm.
And that is the most organically raw and real compliment you can give an actor.
Hmm.
It's a non-pretentious, non-cliche take on a character that I can only say from my point of view and from myself,
Hmm.
Adam Galanis is my alter ego,
Okay.
right? I
Hmm.
have the little angel that I am, and I tell people I might be an angel, but I ain't no saint, not even in real life.
Hmm.
Try to mess with me and my family and see. But when it comes to the locations, like you asked, and the realism, it's a non-cliche Coppola, Cassavetes, Sidney Lumet capture New York City in a bell jar.
Hmm.
It's a kind of filmmaking. I'm not saying it's great. I can't tell you how to feel about the film. That would be unfair. I'm just going to tell you that I like scenes that are in it.
Hmm.
Because after I watched the film a thousand times, trying to raise money for it and sitting there and watching it, I can't sit there and watch it by myself again. I know what people are going to say.
Hmm.
I know the script inside out. It's like waterboarding. But I captured New York City in a bell jar, right? A slice of New York City in a bell jar. Not in a gratuitous way. Oh, I've seen that before. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The Statue of Liberty. Oh, yeah, yeah. The Empire State. I don't do that. I don't do anything. All right. Any which way. Um, you heard the words that came out of my mouth. And half the times your mouth dropped open. I can't believe you said that. It's because you've never heard somebody speak that way. There's nothing disparaging about Italian Americans in it because I'm tired of it.
Hmm.
There's only so much gabagool. Give me a slice.
Hmm.
Mozzarella. I don't write that way. I think Armin said that. George doesn't write in a manner where he's trying to emulate the Goodfellas or the Sopranos.
Right. Right.
Um, and that's just organic for me. The mere
Hmm.
fact that I'm getting kudos and accolades for it, I don't deserve a brown star. I just don't write that way.
Hmm. Hmm. No, but the way you did write it, it's you didn't stereotype the Italian mob. You actually made them appear intellectual, well put together, well minded, strong. I'll use the word businessmen who knew their business, you know. But as Adam Galanis, you also knew your business, and that's it was almost like a game of chess. Staying one, you know, they're coming after you, you're going after them, and going the back and forth, which was in my view. I've seen a lot of movies, George, a lot of movies. I think it was brilliantly done by you. How the interaction is, you know, you get a few hints here of movies done in the past, a little tad here, but it's not something you've typically seen in the past. Um, so why I'm saying this, I don't want people to go in there thinking they're going to go to, you know, a remake that something's been done over and over again, and it's not. But going
It's,
back,
it's not.
it's not. Um, how much of your Greek heritage played into this as well?
Everything I say it in Greek in my head first. Does that
Okay.
answer your question? And the idea of what you just said, your observation, write what you know.
Mm-hmm.
I know that syndicate related individuals
Yeah.
in reality have always been exaggerated and misrepresented in Hollywood and in films for
Mm-hmm.
effect. Some people like to see a gunshot and brain matters being splattered on the wall for effect. Some people want to hear the traditional cadence of a voice. I know people that still speak the way I said and it's organic, not put on, hey, how you doing? That's just how they are. They're not acting. But that's not in my film.
Yeah.
Right? And write what you know. I know these people. I grew up with them. I worked in law enforcement. I was undercover on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And people at the level of capo that are running states are not that unrefined, feral, gnashing of teeth, drooling depiction of the Italian mobster.
Mm-hmm.
They are closer to The Godfather with Marlon Brando,
Mm-hmm.
and less like what has been depicted in the independent films,
Mm-hmm.
mostly, even Hollywood's big screen films.
Mm-hmm.
And the actors knew that my Greekness was brought into this. I was born and raised in New York City, right? Born in Manhattan, raised in Astoria. I'm true
Mm-hmm.
blue New York.
Mm-hmm.
I won't tell you which ball teams I like because I don't want to make haters out of anybody. Because when they find out I like another state team, they're not going to be very happy. And because the other two cause traffic. So enough. They know that this Adam Galanis is this destructive, self-destructive, moral masochist
Mm-hmm.
who's Greek Orthodox.
Mm-hmm.
And in the film, he wears his prayer robe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hide it.
Mm-hmm.
I pray in Greek in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me. Right? I'm on us. And I can't hide that who I am. In the Bible, it says, love thy neighbor. It doesn't say you have to agree with him. You don't have to agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like my story? I don't want to hear I would have filmed it this way. I would have filmed it that way. If you could have filmed it, you would have filmed it. You should have filmed it. I filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
Is my story going to make you forget about having to do your laundry, or the kids got to go to school at the end of the spring break? If I did that, you got lost in the world of George Zouvelos' Adam Galanis Once a Week for Life that comes out on April 14th. Okay? On Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Dish Network, Direct TV, Google Play, Fandango at home, and hit the pay-per-view on any of your cable stations like Optimum, and you'll see it. You'll be able to buy it. I think it's like $5
Yeah.
to rent it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, while we're pushing up against our time here, George, do you think when you think about your ensemble cast that you're able to assemble for this, was there one guy that you wanted that you had doubts whether or not you can get him, and when you got him, it was like, yeah, like you got a little, you fist pumped it yourself and be like, yeah.
Every lead cast member,
Mm-hmm.
including Diana Durango, that's the female lead,
Mm-hmm.
someone that I know and admire as a human being and as an actor, to Daniel Roebuck,
Mm-hmm.
to Armin Garrow,
Mm-hmm.
to Robert Finaro, and people that I didn't really know that much, like Jimmy Schertz, who's relatively new on the scene,
Mm-hmm.
a brilliant actor, Stu Raplogal, Arthur Hugh, who's also Greek from Massachusetts,
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody like Bruce Sosia, who plays the villain,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Buster Sosia, and people that I've admired like Tony Darrell and Paul Borghese,
Mm-hmm.
John Bianco. I think Artie Pasquale, what a wonderful human being. You get some surprises,
Mm-hmm.
and each were a little victory. There is no one that I asked to play that turned down the role because they didn't like the script or what they were getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
It was always because they were filming something else.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Magnano, who was in The Green Mile.
Mm-hmm.
He was dying to be on this set. In fact, I had a signed contract with him, but he had an opportunity that I could not let him pass up
Mm-hmm.
with a known actor and a known production in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we ended up getting Lou Martini, who was in The Godfather.
Yeah.
So it was a mix. It was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? It was,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, one door closed, two windows opened.
Sure.
So that's the answer to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you ready for this movie? It's gonna April 14th is the premiere online streaming services. Are you prepared for you to be walking in the streets of New York and people yelling, "Hey, Adam! Hey, look, it's Adam!" Are you ready for that?
I'm not expecting it. I'm just another person that's walking the street of New York.
Okay.
I'm 6'4", so I stand out like a sore thumb.
Sure.
Um, I either wear my Beastie Boys shirt or my Grateful Dead shirt, my U2 shirt, my Doors shirt, my Zeppelin shirt, my Stone shirt. And by and large, if I have sunglasses on and my Greek fisherman's cap, like I always wear, it's not a costume. People stay away from me.
Okay.
I look a little menacing. Do I look menacing to you?
You're a tall man. I can just tell you this. I'm 5'8", and what I could see you from a mile away. But you're not any menacing, like you said. You are a kind soul.
I love taking pictures with people. People come up to me after the premiere. They were taking pictures with me on the street.
Yeah.
They didn't know who I was. I was like, sure, come on, take a picture with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I would hold their phone, take the selfie.
Sure.
Without the audience, our business is finished.
Yeah.
We make films not for ourselves. We make it so we can try to monetize them. Yes, to call this a business and make a living, but to be entertainers. Being raised as a Greek American and then going to Greece and seeing great works of art like Antigone on a real amphitheater that was built thousands of years ago. And then the actor turns towards the stage and breaks the fourth wall. It just pulls you in. The way I film, it's shy of that.
Yeah.
But every one of my scenes is filmed like you're in the room as the viewer listening to this conversation. You're not just a spectator, you're a participant.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my filming style.
Yeah. And that's my final question for you is growing up in New York City, talking about watching TV on a 13-inch TV. Was there one or two programs while you were growing up that kind of influenced not only your style and your acting and your writing style, but also like you see something on TV? Like for me, I'll tell you what, like shows like from the early 70s, like shows like Emergency, where you had these paramedics in Southern California. As a young child, I was like, I want to do that. Like, and there came a point in life where the things I saw on television, I was able to do. In a way, it was like living out a dream to some point. But did that happen to you as well?
Well, I come from the era where we watched All in the Family. Happy Days.
Yeah.
Emergency.
Yeah.
But also films like Lawrence of Arabia with Omar Sharif, with Sir Peter O'Toole.
Yeah.
Brilliant. One of my favorite. Both of those actors, Omar Sharif, they're my idols, right?
Yep.
Guns of Navarone with Gregory Peck. Things that opened my eyes, and shows like MASH. And then we would watch the Lawrence Welk show. And we learned how to polka. Right? And everything influences you.
Yeah.
It's as a young child, Sesame Street influenced me. As a child, till this day, I have a Looney Tunes sense of humor. I see things in cartoons when I want to laugh. It's just, if you and I were standing next to each other on a desert island, you'd be a hamburger and I'd be a hot dog. And if we were hungry, I'd be looking at you like a hamburger and you'd be looking at me like a big hot dog. And then we look at the bird and we see a chicken roasted and dripping with fat. I mean, that's in my mind's eye, that's what I see.
Sure.
And then we're chasing each other around the island to eat each other, right?
Yeah.
Because we're so hungry. That's the kind of, my wife calls me gossamer.
Yeah.
She gets up and she goes to me, "You're such an interesting looking monster." Because I got these big feet and I'm wearing sneakers. And when I'm wearing red and my Greek fisherman's cap, it doesn't look like, I look like gossamer. Because be quiet, gossip, be quiet, stop yelling, gossamer. So yeah, very much. Does that sound like I'm being influenced? I think we all have.
Sure.
Even David and Goliath.
Yeah.
Wholesome.
Yeah.
And we also watched the Greek programming as much as we could.
Sure.
We used to listen to the radio a lot, AM, Radio Athena.
Yeah.
Sakalareo, I think her name was.
Mm-hmm.
And some others on Channel 25 on UHF.
Yep.
Maria Papadatos was very influential.
Exactly.
And to some degree, everything. But you take the confluences of your programming, that's your programming.
Mm-hmm.
And you take it, you get some education, you get family, you get the church.
Yeah.
You get human lived experiences with your contemporaries and work.
Mm-hmm.
And it teaches you or trains you how to react to certain situations and how you should think of things. And I think that we should be careful how we program.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. I write a lot of PG stuff, things that are wholesome and fill your heart and make you think. The Once a Week for Life is more of a, okay, you don't know these mobsters, but I've had a situation like this. I'm having a problem with my husband. George reminds me of my husband. Anestitos, he's insensitive. I can't get a straight word out of him. And I think I also put the relationship between my mom and I. I take care of you. I take care of you, Ma. I had that relationship with my mother. Yes. So no matter what kind of animal I could be on the street, when I come to my mom, I cuddle her, Ma. How you doing, Ma? I missed you. I missed you. This is reality for me.
Yeah.
That's more George Zouvelos than Adam is.
Yeah. And that scene itself really hit home to me because the way you interacted with your mother was very much how I interact with my own mother. And I'm sure a lot of Greek men interact with their own mothers. So that was
a lot of Italian men, a lot of Irish men, a lot of Spanish people, even African Americans and others. Their mother is their mother.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to be as harsh with your mom. You're not going to be harsh at all with your mom as you're going to be with a pal on the street.
Yeah.
That's your roots. Your mom is where you came from.
Exactly. So the movie is Once a Week for Life. It's going to start streaming April 14th. But then a few months later, it's going to the UK, correct?
June 15th, it'll be in the UK, New Zealand, and Australia. Shortly thereafter, it'll go to the Latin American countries. As distributors chime in the different nations, like in Germany and France, they're going to get to see the world of Lieutenant Adam Galanis. They have their own systems. In the United States, like I keep saying, because it's important, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, DirecTV, Dish Network, Google Play, Fandango at home, etc., and on your cable pay-per-view. I said that in one breath. It's important because in the UK, they have their own systems. Yeah. And I won't know what the distributor there is doing until I get the code saying, okay, watch this in the UK, watch this in Ireland, in Scotland, and I don't know, but I know that the day after it releases on digital, available to rent or buy, it will have, I will get codes. So on my social media, I'll have them put, watch here on Apple now, watch here on Fandango at home now, watch here on DirecTV now, watch here. So you'll, whether you have it or not, you'll be able to watch it.
Yeah.
And the good thing about watching it at home, you can pause it and go pee.
Yeah.
Can't do that really at the theater without missing something.
Yeah.
So on April 10th, we're going to be at the Belmore Theater
Yeah.
in Long Island, 7 p.m. You're going to get to meet me and some of the cast called 222 Petite Avenue in Belmore, across from the Long Island Railroad. Me, Diana Durango, Dick Van Tulane, Robert Finaro, and some of the other cast members will be there. It'll be the last chance you're going to get to see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful little theater, very unassuming from the outside, but on the inside, there's this 350 something seat theater. They're comfortable seats. You get to sit in an old time theater, and we're gonna have a good time. Whether we
Good.
fill the theater or not doesn't make a difference. I'm gonna have a backdrop. I'm gonna have a little bit of a red carpet. I have Ed Shin coming from the Long Island Press is coming out,
Mhm.
take some pictures. A lot of the cast members from Long Island are gonna show up. We'll see.
Yeah. Is there
Everything's a gift.
has there been any discussion of when it does, prior to it being available in the UK, of doing a premiere in like either London or Edinburgh or something like that?
I don't know. Um, there might be a premiere in London.
Okay.
There might be a premiere in Paris.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know. It's too early for me to know
Okay.
because that's going to require somebody to fund it.
Hmm.
You know, I only eat once a day because I intermittent fast.
Yeah.
But you need to fly me over there. I'll fly coach. I don't care, and
Hmm.
and put me somewhere where I can lay my head to sleep on someone's couch. It's fine.
Hmm.
I'm not the expensive one, but if you want to get some of the key actors in there, they don't belong to me. They belong to themselves.
Yeah.
Um, uh, the um, the takeaway here is the second film, this continuation, is already quality controlled
Hmm.
and waiting for it to be distributed, probably sometime around the end of September.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
If this film is moving along well and people are clamoring to see the second part, it's probably smart to strike while the iron is hot, is what I'm
Absolutely.
being told.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in that part of the business, but I'm going to learn to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once again, it's Once a Week for Life, streaming in the US starting April 14th. This is George Zouvelos. Listen, George, thank you for taking time for sitting down
Thank
with
you.
us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you always. Zito Orenismos Badu. Happy Easter
You as well.
to all our friends and all of the Orthodox world on the planet.
Yep. Uh, Once again, you've been watching Baklava and Banter. Until next time, be good to each other, and we'll see you all soon.